Hello viewers, today we will discuss the literary value of the Spanish tragedy written by Thomas Kyd. First, let us discuss the importance of this drama in the literature of England. The Spanish tragedy is of immense importance because this is the first extant Elizabethan classic that has come down to us. Secondly, Kyd was the pioneer of the movement of secular drama that started during the Elizabethan age. Kyd has given to us a new genre called the revenge tragedy that became immensely successful. Moreover, this revenge tragedy called the Spanish tragedy is of immense literary value because it is the first expression of great poetry in drama. So, the poetic relation, the poetic condition which was in doldrums before this drama was brought to a certain matured state by Kyd. That is why it is regarded as the first poetic expression of the dramatist. Here we see how much Kyd was influenced by the classical writer Seneca. He has taken as his model the Senecan mode of how to show violence on stage. Somehow it became very much popular in the Elizabethan age. So, Kyd was able to bequeath to the English literature a genre that became the rage of the times, and after him entire Elizabethan literature, what has come down to us as great literature now, all are influenced by Kyd. Especially we see that Shakespeare's Hamlet so much indebted to Kyd's The Spanish Tragedy because it shows in Hamlet the indecisiveness of the hero to carry out his revenge. Here Hamlet resembles the character of Hieronymo, and also the evil characters, the entry of the ghost on the stage, all these things plus the blood that is shown on the stage, everything is Kyd's bequeathal to the literary scene. And he made the Machiavellian villain very popular for the English stage. So, all these things make his drama a very, very important one. Now, we will discuss the four major themes that has been used in this drama. First, we take up the theme of revenge and justice. We find that the hero of the play is a judge. So, immediately when he takes revenge, this two parts, justice and revenge, they become interactive. Hieronymo quotes a biblical verse, "Vengeance is mine, I shall repay, saith the Lord." So, this exactly represents the official version of how revenge is to be seen in Elizabethan times. So, it shows the Christian viewpoint, but it is silent on the matter of justice. So, when Hieronymo finds that his son is unnecessarily killed and the murderers actually escape, he does not find any justice in that. So, he asks God how to handle this. Then when he sees that Bel Imperia is ready to help him in taking revenge, he understands that he is acting on God's behalf. Bel Imperia's help comes to him as a message from heaven that it is God's will. So, then Hieronymo becomes an instrument in the hand of God to carry out God's will, and then he is not usurping the role of God. So, like that, revenge and justice has been used in this play. Now, we take up the second theme, that is revenge and love. Revenge is used in this play also in relation to love. We find that Belle Imperia wants to take revenge on the murderer of Andrea, which means Balthazar, because she was in love with Andrea. Then her love for Horatio also leads her to take revenge against Balthazar. On the other side, we see that Balthazar wants to take revenge on Horatio because he loves Belle Imperia. So, like that, the connection is made, and Hieronimo and Belle Imperia, they actually explicitly relate the two when they decide that not taking revenge against the wrongs done to a loved one actually means lack of love. So, vengeance becomes the expression of showing that you love the lost one. That is another reason why Andrea's desire for revenge is justified. He also wants to be remembered by those friends who loved him, and he does not want them to forget his unlawful death. Like that, revenge and love has been interposed in this drama. Now, we take up the third theme, the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune was one of the major themes of all Elizabethan tragedy, where Wheel of Fortune signified continuous ups and downs in life. In this drama, the explicit reference to this Wheel of Fortune is made when the Viceroy of Portugal speaks of it when he hears the death of his son Balthazar, which was not true really, but he believed that Balthazar has been killed. That time he makes a specific reference to this Wheel of Fortune, and in this drama, in the act where Horatio is killed and hanged from a tree, there Lorenzo says the same thing. Because he knew that Horatio wanted to come up in life, he was seen as a social climber. Then Lorenzo says that he has reached a place where higher than where he was placed before, because he was hanged from a high tree. So, like that, continuously we see that somebody who is very happy, very easily his happiness is turning to misery. And that was the continuous theme of different tragedies written in Elizabethan age. And the audience becomes aware of the precariousness of human happiness, where any moment it could change to misery, and that gave the pleasure of watching tragedies. So, this is how the Wheel of Fortune is used in this play. The last theme that we are going to discuss is about the difference between appearance and reality. In this play, we find this point used in various ways. From the beginning till end, we see that there is a clear wedge drawn between the world as we know it, as it is in reality, and as the characters see the world. So, the characters are totally unable to penetrate the appearance. So, in the first act itself, this Horatio and Belle Imperia, they think that Horatio's father's garden is a very safe place. Belle Imperia was abducted and Horatio was killed there. Then Belle Imperia thinks that her servant Pedringano is a faithful servant, but he was not. He is the one who actually backstabs her. So, like that, people are unable to see through the reality. Again and again this is shown. This Lorenzo, although he was so much intelligent, he was unable to see Hieronimo's mind. So, he very gullibly was ready to take part in the drama where he did not know that he would be killed. And also it is used in another very potent scene where Pedringano thinks that in the box his pardon letter is there, which was actually empty. So, again and again this theme of appearance versus reality is handled very greatly by Kyd. Now we will discuss the 4 motifs used in this play. First, the role of madness. Kyd shows here 2 people who have become mad, Hieronimo and his wife Isabella. After Horatio's death, both of them become mad, but this madness is expressed in different ways. Isabella commits suicide, whereas Hieronimo seeks destruction outwardly by taking bloody revenge. So, one's madness leads one to inwardness, another to outwardness. If we think that madness is a state disconnected from reality, then we actually find that it is the sane and happy, like the king, who is actually disconnected from the state of reality because he is totally unaware of the pervasive evil that surrounds him. The second motive is the use of the Christian world and the classical world. This classical world is used by Kyd in the description of hell or underworld because he has taken it ditto from Virgil's Aeneid. The topography is exactly the same. Moreover, he uses the classical idea of taking revenge because people have to take law in their own hands because this world is full of injustice. On the other hand, Hieronimo believes that he is acting as God's representative. So, that is a very Christian idea. In that way, Kyd uses this motive of classical world versus the Christian world. The third point is Machiavellianism. The Elizabethan audience would have easily identified Lorenzo as the Machiavellian villain because the Machiavellian villain always represented the evil, where people use fear, violence, ruse, deceit, and Lorenzo epitomized all these characteristics. That is why Lorenzo has become such a very, very successful character in the Elizabethan theatre, whose role was again and again replicated in various dramas. One very good example is the famous Iago's character in Shakespeare's Othello. The fourth ruse that is used in this play is Kyd's love of antithesis. We see that continuously he is putting one character against the other. In the beginning, the characters who were good, they become evil at the end. Those who were evil at the beginning, they become the innocent dupes. And moreover, those who had all the fortune in the beginning, they lose everything at the end. Moreover, another thing that is shown here as antithesis is how the characters who were initially very opposite type of characters become very similar at the end of the play. Like in the beginning, we find Hieronimo and Isabella very, very good characters, noble characters, and Lorenzo and Balthazar as the bad ones. But at the end, this same Hieronimo and Belle Imperia, they become the evil characters at the end. They become very much Machiavellian in nature. In this way, Kyd has used the four motifs in the Spanish tragedy. In this play, Kyd uses to great effect the symbol of the bloody handkerchief. The handkerchief in the beginning of the play is a symbol of love and memory. Then it changes to a symbol of the desire for revenge, and then it changes to take revenge, and then at the end of the play it becomes the symbol of annihilation and thereby erasure of memory. At the beginning of the play, we hear that Andrea has been given a handkerchief by Belle Imperia so that she can remember his lady love. Then when he is killed in the war, his friend Horatio takes that handkerchief out from his pocket, and then it becomes the symbol of memory of a dead friend. When he brings the handkerchief to Belle Imperia, then it becomes a symbol of a lost loved one and the desire to revenge the killer of Andrea. And then we find that this becomes the symbol of revenge also, because Horatio's death leads Belle Imperia to want to get revenge against Balthazar because he was the killer of both her lovers. And at the end of the play, this same handkerchief becomes the symbol of both love and revenge, because Hieronimo wants to take revenge with his son's murderers. At the end of the play, we find that this same handkerchief becomes the symbol of annihilation and death and erasure of memory, because Hieronimo shows the audience this handkerchief and then runs off to commit suicide, thereby erasing all painful memory. This is how the symbol of bloody handkerchief has been used to great effect by Kyd in this play. Now we will discuss the major characters of this play. First we start with Hieronimo. Hieronimo is the Knight Marshal of Spain, which means he was the chief judge and the protagonist of this play. His character develops through various soliloquies addressing several key questions on whether to erase the pain by committing suicide, or to take revenge, or to leave everything to God, or when he decides to take revenge, then how to take it. So, all these comes to us through the long soliloquies that he speaks. At the end of the play, there is a radical shift in his character, because he decides to go against his own character. He tries to become like the villain Lorenzo, and he uses the same ruse that Lorenzo has used before. So, he pays back Lorenzo in the same way he has acted. Now, we come to the second character, Belle Imperia. Belle Imperia is the female protagonist of the play. She is the ill-fated daughter of the Duke of Castile. She has the misfortune to fall in love with two commoners, Andrea and Horatio. So, her lovers were not at all approved by her noble family. So, they were both killed. She also has the misfortune to have an evil brother like Lorenzo. Moreover, she was forced to marry Balthazar, who was actually the killer of both her lovers. So, she was a victim from the beginning. But when we see her character, she does not seem to be a victim so much. Through her soliloquies, we come to be aware of the tremendous mental strength that Belle Imperia had. Her soliloquies speak profusely about the strength of her character, the determination, the motivation and the willpower to act on that motivation, which is very evident when he decides to act in Hieronimo's play and actually kill the murderers of her lovers. One objection to Belle Imperia's character is that she is very much focused on taking revenge. But when we see how much suffering she has got in life, then we understand that if she was vindictive, she had very good reasons to be so. Lorenzo is the chief antagonist of this play. He is an example of the Machiavellian villain so typical of all Elizabethan tragedies. He uses verbal guile to manipulate the people around him to distraction, basing his ideas on the others' moral weakness and their lack of knowledge. Lorenzo has a foil in the good and noble Horatio. He is pitted against the goodness of Horatio in everything evil possible. Horatio is shown as honest and direct and fierce, whereas Lorenzo is very much secretive, very much guarded, and always used verbal guile to manipulate and cheat people into destruction. This Lorenzo had some weakness in character also. So, he is as weak as the characters he manipulates, and he is also manipulated by the more intelligent Hieronimo in the same way he himself manipulated others into destruction. So, he falls into the clutches of Hieronimo, thinking that Hieronimo does not know that he is the killer of Hieronimo's son and his love of theatre. So, this is how, although a very strong Machiavellian evil character, his own weakness leads him to his own destruction. And he became the inspiration of many later evil characters of the Elizabethan drama. One very glaring example is the character of Iago in Shakespeare's Othello. Horatio is the proud and promising son of Hieronimo. He is initially shown to be the hero of the drama, but quite early in the drama he is killed off. He is shown as a very direct, brave and honest character. His goodness in character, his loyalty, all these points are shown in his action towards Andrea, his friend. It was he who gave the funeral rites to Andrea so that the ghost of Andrea gets entry into the underworld. Also, he captures the killer of Andrea, Balthazar, thereby getting hold of the dead body of Andrea. And again, his love for Belle Imperia is also shown as very noble. The nobles in this drama see him as a social climber, but he was actually very direct and honest. And he is such a brave person that although Lorenzo was of a much higher stature socially than him, he does not defer at all, and he puts up his case of capturing Balthazar in front of the king without any fear. So, Horatio is shown as totally honest and very positive character in this play. Last, we will come to the character of Balthazar. Balthazar was the Prince of Portugal, the son of the Portugal Viceroy. Initially, we think that he is a very villainous character, but he was not like that. His love for Belle Imperia leads him to become a villain. From the beginning, he was very proud and hot-headed, and this hot-headedness makes him come under the clutches of the dishonest Lorenzo, and when he kills Horatio, that makes him the villain. Also, again and again, he is called as valiant by the king and others. Of course, he has killed Andrea in a very loyal war, but he killed him with the help of others. So, it is not so clear why he is again and again referred to as the valiant prince. But initially he is shown as a good person, only his love for Belle Imperia and the friendship with Lorenzo makes him a villain. Here we end our discussion of the Spanish tragedy and its literary values, its importance and the various literary qualities that Kyd has used in this drama, thereby making the Spanish tragedy one of the most popular plays read up to this day.